Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Robinson here again with our Teacher Time show. So let's get running. Don't forget to watch Teacher Time every Tuesday on Optimum Cablevision at 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. We are on Peak Skill. We're on at Peak Skill and Ossining, Channel 15, Yorktown, Channel 74, and in New Rochelle, Channel 76. Don't forget our other show, Math Time, on Tuesdays at 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m., also on the same channels. You can also watch our YouTube videos. My channel name is Dan Robinson. Subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. But better yet, write us a comment. Let us know what we can do better. You could X me at drobmath1. And don't forget our Peak Skill Math Prep videos, PKMS Math Prep 16. We made that a few years back, 2016. A very good movie, now on video. All right, let's get down to business. So we're going to talk about a new beginning, a new marking period. So everything is new. And I'll give out a few tips of the trade of the things that I've done. Remember, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So that's a good saying, because we really need to start the new marking period with a plan, because you've been used to your kids for a marking period now. So now you should be able to begin again in a new direction now that you know more about your students. So I like this little Bible verse from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. It reminds me about old things are passed away. So all that old stuff I had in the prior marking period, I can now say goodbye to it, because now I have a brand new marking period to deal with. So behold, all things have become new. So everything's a new beginning. So that means grades, homeworks, projects. We'll talk about that. Classwork, group work, and behavior. We'll talk about that and give some tips as well. So let's start with the grades or the exams. So when I start my marking period over, I like to let the kids know. I give them a little pep talk about the test. I let them know, hey, I know you might have had some pitfalls in the first marking period or the previous marking period, but don't let that put you down or keep you down. Keep your head up, because this is a new marking period now, so it's a new start. So I'm not worried about what grades you had in the prior marking period. Your test grades start new, so your average is 100. Your quizzes also start new, and their average is 100 as well. So your exams are gone. So the next exam, try to keep your 100 or do even better. I showed them my grading book. It has their names and it's all clean. So your grades are gone. So you don't have to worry about that. Just focus on your next test for that new quarter. Then I talk about homework. All of your homeworks are gone from the prior marking period. Starting all over. I'm not holding anything against you that you did not do or you did incomplete or you got a bad grade on. I'm not holding any of that against you from the previous marking period. it all starts over. So you have a brand new start with 100. And the projects, if you didn't do it or you did lousy on some of the projects, that starts over as well. So you start with 100 with that. So just make sure, do your homework, do your projects, do your best. I show them my sheet where I keep my homeworks, and notice nothing's there. No check minuses, no check plus, no zeros. So it's all clean. So don't mess it up. Get your checks or your good grades in there every homework we give. So don't fall into that same trap that you did the previous marking period. Start the right way by doing your homework and projects. So now we're going to go into classwork and group work, so we'll talk about that. So remember, it's a new beginning. So when we talk about classwork, it's a new start for you. So I expect you to do your classwork. Don't fool around in class, or don't be playing those video games on your computer, because you know I'll be watching. So your classwork starts new with 100% for classwork. Hopefully it'll go higher because your group work will also help you get your classwork grade up. But remember, it all starts new. So you're up to 100 GPA, so keep it up. Do even better. So it's all new for classwork and group work. I show them my sheet where I keep the information for classwork and group work, my little comments. So don't get a PCW. PCW, Dr. Rob, what's that? Poor classwork. So if you get those PCWs and I write the date that it was done, please, that lowers your grade. So you start with 100 and I see that you did something that represented poor classwork, then I drop it down by 30 points. Now you're at a 70. Just for that one infraction. I value classwork and I expect you to be on point. So do your classwork. And now we are up to behavior. All right. So what do you got to say about the behavior? It's a new beginning, Dr. Rob. That's right. All those comments that I have written about you previously, whether it be poor classwork or behavioral problems, it's all been erased. And I put a little asterisk there, though. So you have a new start. All of that stuff is gone about behavior, but that little asterisk says per quarter. So it is erased, I would say, but I can look it up if I need to, because I have a new grade book for the second quarter, a new Google Classroom for the second quarter. But if I need to go back to the first quarter or the previous quarter, I can do that. So, but technically it's been erased, and I won't be holding any of your past mistakes against you. I believe you learned and you're going to do better, or at least try. And I showed them my behavior sheet, and I said, hey, there's no comments down there, so it's all clean. So don't mess it up with silly behavioral problems. So try to remember what you did wrong from the previous marking period and not to make that same mistake. So we've started with grades, homework, projects. We've done that. We've talked about classwork and group work and behavior. So it's a new beginning. That's our motto for the new quarter or new marking period. Remember, all those old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. So it's a new ball game. So now I want to give a few tips, things you should know and I see my phone over there, and I'll be calling on Fridays or before you get home. So beware. But if you follow the group rules and these tips that I'm going to give you, you should be in good standing. Remember, the group rules are going to be applied as we go on. So remember, we're working as groups. So if one person does something negative, it affects everybody. We are one group, we are one class, and all for one. So we're all working as one. My rules about the bathroom are the same. I've been doing this for years, and I don't like when students go to the bathroom during my period. I try to let them know it's important to me that you stay in here and get all of the information I have to give you. And I know other teachers feel the same way, and I try to be lenient as much as possible, but I try to get the kids to shop around, as the teacher told me, because I was a bad student, and I wanted to get out of the class so I can roam around and see my friend Phil, and hang out with him and try to get him to come out of his classroom so we could hang out in the bathroom or do what we want and come back 10, 20 minutes later when class is almost over, because the teacher didn't pay attention to the clock and most times was glad I was out of the room because that way they could teach. But I don't allow more than 2 people out with the bathroom pass at any time, because it's the probability that a person who asks for the pass constantly has to go to the bathroom every day at the same time, always during my class, is a very, very small probability. So I let them know that, because I say, look, I teach mathematics, and if you have to go to the bathroom every day at the same time, it is not likely, very unlikely. And I say, you're probably out there meeting somebody or doing what I used to do, trying to hang out because you don't like the class, and I'm sorry for that, but I'll try to make it better for you, but I do not give out the pass frequently. Usually it's 2 persons max, unless there's emergency. I can understand that, and I let them know, hey, I've been doing this 40 years now. I have not had one person to wet themselves or do that, but if you need to, I make a joke about going to the bathroom and tell them, I don't mind if you're going to go to the bathroom, but if it's an emergency, I have a garbage can over there in the back, so I'm making jokes, and usually when they see that you're making jokes about it, then that means you're trying to tell them, no, go back and sit down. So don't be afraid to not let them go to the bathroom, because if it's an emergency, they will ask you again. And usually one thing I would try to do is I'd say, just give me a minute. I want to just finish something I'm doing right here. So you could see, so you need to see this, and then I will give you the pass. And usually they don't remember, and I can keep going without them going out to the bathroom. And when the students see that you do not let them go out to the bathroom often, they don't ask. But the teacher who allows the kids to go, they do ask that teacher. So I've known some students to come back and tell me that, oh, we go to the bathroom passes on Mr. So-and-so's class. He lets us out all the time. And I'm like, okay, well, that's them. Me, I don't. So let me get going. Detention. I give detention only on Fridays after school. I remember giving a detention one Friday. We had a half day, and the faculty had a meeting at 12, I think, and the kids were let out at 11. And my students who had detention on Friday said, well, do we have to wait till next Friday? I said, no, you get in here after school. I expect you in here at 11 o'clock, and we'll do our detention, and we'll take care of what we need to, before you go home on Friday. So you still have detention. I don't care if it is a 11 o'clock release. You got detention, so let's get rid of it. So I eat my lunch in there while they're sitting there wondering when are they going to go home. And one student said it was unfair to me. And little Charlie said he's got to go home. I said, well, Charlie, go call your mother. I said, anybody who needs to go home, call your parents. Tell them I want to speak to them. And they would call their parent and say, Dr. Rob doesn't want to let me go home. I have detention. And I said, yeah, Charlie, let me talk to your parent. And I would talk to his parent. I said, hi, Mrs. So-and-so. Yeah, Charlie was messing around in class today, and I gave him detention as a result. So she said, oh, Dr. Rob, I'm so glad you're giving him detention because Charlie knows better. And you keep him as long as you need to. I said, no, I'll let him out at 12 o'clock because we have a faculty meeting then. So I would thank her, and that's because I developed a relationship with my students' parents because they knew I was very, very firm and demanded respect, demanded the kids to do what they were supposed to do. And when you establish a relationship with the parents like that, they will be on your side. She told me, keep him as long as you want. I had another parent who told me, you can keep my child until the weekend. I'm like, no, 6 o'clock is my limit. And I let him out close to 6 o'clock on a Friday. And he told his friends that he had to stay here till 6 o'clock and do math work. And his mother was in agreement with it. And the students started talking about that. They said, did you hear that so-and-so had to stay with Dr. Rob on Friday till 6 p.m.? And they said, wow. And they said, oh, I'm not going to fool around in Dr. Rob's class. I only had to do that one time, by the way. And I got a reputation about detention. Nobody wants it with me. So I don't recommend that 6 o'clock. I think 5 o'clock is good. But you establish something like that once, you'll get a reputation very quickly, and the students will know that you mean business. All right, so here's another thing, late homework. I don't accept late homework unless the student was absent the day prior, and I will accept that late. But homework that's late, I don't accept that. I said you shouldn't be late to school. You shouldn't be late with your homework either, because if you have a job, your boss will expect you to do whatever or arrive with your report on time. If not, they'll fire you. So I tell them we're trying to teach you things that you'll need for preparation for when you get out there in the business world. Lateness to class, that's one of the things I hate. I let them know that if you don't have a pass, don't come in here. Make sure you bring a pass, because if you come late without a pass, you'll get detention, and I'm going to take 100 points off of the whole class's score for your lateness. And if you come late with more than with other people, it's 100 points off for each person. So the kids do not like that, and they don't come in late. So a very good rule. I'm prepared for class. I don't have too much of that because I supply a lot of stuff in my groups, and the kids know that if they come unprepared, it'll cost them 100 points for whatever I have to give them, whether it be a pencil, and that's for each item. 100 points for each pencil, 100 points for each paper, or whatever I have, other supplies that I have to give them. Nurse's office. I do allow the kids, if they're sick, to go to the nurse's office. Sometimes I hear them coughing and sneezing, and I have tissues, cough drops, Band-Aids in my classroom, and usually that's all they can take, because the nurse's office can't do too much for them, but call the house and send them home. But I try to keep those small items to them. Just be careful to watch for tissues, because I had a student who had a cold, and quite a few of them have those colds and allergies and need a lot of tissue. I just tell them, just take a few tissues. I had one kid try to take half the box, and I'm like, hey, we have to have a few tissues for everybody else. You take a few, bring some tissues of your own from your home tomorrow. So I believe in supplying my kids with what they need. All right, another thing you should know, I don't like kids changing seats without permission. That's one of the rules that I was thinking about to write in my movie, because I don't like when I'm taking attendance and I'm looking for somebody and they're sitting in a different seat that I didn't put them in. So I let them know, don't change seats without permission, and next time I'll take off 100 points for my trouble. Garbage. I do not like garbage on my floor. I let them know. I said I wear a shirt and tie mostly every day, and that's because I'm a neat freak. So if you're going to throw your garbage and trash on the floor, you'll be looking at a minus 100 points for each piece of paper or garbage that I have to get up or the students have to get up. And eating in class. If you need to eat, I got no problem with that, but make sure I've given it to you. Because if you're going to come in here with your own food and all of that, there's lunchtime or breakfast time when you're supposed to eat that stuff. Not in my class. Sometimes I make an exception if the student hasn't eaten and they eat it real fast before class starts. I sometimes let them get away with it. Fighting in and outside of classroom. I tell my students, if you get into a fight, make sure you don't, because it'll cost you 100 points, because I don't want you getting suspended for fighting, and I don't want you missing my class. So the rules are still in effect when I'm outside of class. And they're like, man, this guy doesn't play. We were in the cafeteria one time. I had cafeteria duty. A food fight broke out. And the principal told me, you take those desks over there, that section of the cafeteria over there, and we'll take this section over here to get the kids to sit down and stop throwing food. I went to my section, which happened to be where my classes were, and I just said 100 points off for each person who's throwing food. Everybody sat down so quickly and stopped throwing food, and the principal looked and said, what in the world did you say to make them stop? I said I minus 100 points for those people who are out of their seats and throwing food for each person. And when the kids knew that their grade was going to be affected, they stopped immediately. Things you should also know is no talking while I am speaking. As a former gang leader, that was important to me because of respect. I didn't allow anybody in my gang to talk while I was speaking, because it would be disrespectful and it would also mean that you're trying to take over. And I would not let them do that. So I expect that from my students. So no talking while I'm talking. Or other such behavior that I did not mention. Those are things I just take off 100 points, because can't mention everything. So don't be afraid to call homes. Get that parent established as your best friend. They will do what you need to do. And remember, call on Fridays or before the students get home. I make my Google Classroom brand new, so it has a lot of the things I said, so check me out on YouTube. I have my parent responsibility there for the parents to see, some contact information. I still do what I usually do, send progress reports to the parents. I email them each month, and I also send a copy to the counselors so they can know what's going on. So I also have tutoring after school in my class. I videotape the Google Classroom sessions that we have of the math, and my after office hours after available for tutoring. So I tell the kids, take advantage of them. I have that missing homework letter. Do not miss your homework. Oh, I gotta wrap up in a minute. So I have my missing homework progress report that I give out. So I tell them, don't miss the homework. So please do your homework. And as I said, I do tutoring after school. I just show the lesson that we recorded on the board, and the kids can watch, and we pause and we do our work. I'd still send my progress reports in the new quarter. Remember, 2 copies, one on Thursday, one on Friday. That way, the kids who are absent Friday will get it on Thursday. Make sure you make your calls. There's a little progress report, a little bit of information that they give that I write about the progress report. There's the actual report card information, and the progress report has it as well. So, that's a lot of things you should know. So we are done. So watch our shows on YouTube. My channel name is Dan Robinson, PKMS, Peekskill Middle School. Subscribe to our channel. And you can write me a comment. Let me know how things are going. And check out our math prep shows. Math prep 16 is a good one. X me at drobmath1. Don't forget to watch our show Teacher Time Tuesdays on Optimum Cablevision, 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. In Peekskill and Ossining on Channel 15. In Yorktown at Channel 74. In New Rochelle on Channel 76. Don't forget, we have our Math Time show also a little earlier on Tuesdays as well from 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Same channels. So if you'd like more information on the topics, write me at robinsonmath@aol.com. So that's it for today. I hope your quarter goes well, or your new marking period goes well. So this is Dr. Rob signing off. Bye-bye.